by the end of this video, you're going to really find out, should you even listen to any of the advice I am giving you about the stock market and picking stocks. How's it going, world? Michael E.J. here, helping you become the best investor you can be so you can reach those financial goals and dreams. If you're new to the channel, what is up? Mainly talk the stock market here and more about having different thoughts about the stock market. I truly believe that to beat the market, you must think differently than the market. So if you want to think differently than the market, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and let's get started. So, I've made a couple of stock picks over the past couple of months, and actually I saw a video from Whiteboard Finance. Great guy, Marco. He's really good at what he does. He's another finance YouTuber. I'll put his information in the card. But he made a review video essentially about all his past stock picks recently. And I thought I'd do the same. And maybe every 10 or so stock picks I make, I'll review them. But before I even review those picks, I wanted to share how my philosophy is a little bit different. For most people in the stock market, there's like a 50-50 coin flip if their stock's going to beat the market or not. Now, I'm not necessarily a value investor, not necessarily a long-term investor. I'm a little bit more momentum, a little bit more trend following, and a little bit more short-term. Like, I don't expect to hold stocks even past a year. Like, I mean, I'll pitch some stocks and some of them I will hold, but it's only because I expect them to do good both in the short term and the long term. There's been studies that show, not that many, but there's been a few that show that this kind of short-term investing, trend following, kind of like the swing traders, or I consider myself more of a swing investor, they do well and beat the market as well, mainly because they're more likely to pick stocks that beat the market in the short term. Like, it's a 50-50 coin flip if you're a value long-term investor. It's closer to 60% per se if you're more of a momentum guy. So that's one of my goals, portfolio goals. Number one is have a better than a 50-50 coin flip chance. You know, I should be doing better than 50% in stocks that beat the market. I should be doing that. On top of that, I should be doing even better and not losing money. I mean, the goal here is not to pick the big winners, but to limit the losers. So above 70% of all my stock picks should contribute to the P&L. So let's find out if I am achieving these goals through my first couple of stock picks. Now let's start off with my December picks, in which I made 3 at the end of November, very tail end of November, plus I made an additional pick in the middle, well, closer to Christmas. And let's just go through and let's see how they worked out. So, relative hit rate against the S&P 500, 3 for 4, the same absolutely. So both 75%. They worked pretty well. One of those picks, Abiomed, I mean, it's essentially there in healthcare, help with assist the heart with certain things. They make products and devices for that. Took off. Absolutely took off, returned more than 20%. I also recommended Amazon, like towards the near Christmas, took off as well. Both of those are near 20%. We had one pick that you're essentially buying near after the stock kind of dipped, Advanced Energy Solutions, and I mean, they've just been straddling along. Not really, they haven't fell apart, they haven't fallen apart, but they're not really taking off either. And we also had Accenture, which at the time of the buy, saw an amazing company, safer pick, and that's been working out too. So far so good. You know, we got 3 or 4 December picks. You know, we're looking pretty good right now. Now January has been a little bit more of a rougher month. I'm just being honest. January hasn't gone as well as I thought it would go. Run into a little bit of issues with a lot of my picks. Made 6 of them. Made 6, so for all of 2018, I made 5 picks, plus I made an additional pick in the video in the middle of the month. So out of the 2018 picks, there's really 2 of them I had to sell out of. There's 2 I already had to sell out of. That was Coherent and Micron. Both of them, they just fell off. They just fell right through, and it's a little bit surprising. A little bit surprising, not too surprising, but a little bit. I'm not surprised with Micron. I made the comment in that video that this stock can just fall. It's possible this stock to double. It's possible for this stock to fall by 20-30%. And it chose the falling route. So that one's not so surprising, but Coherent a little bit. Overall, both relative hit rate, 3 out of 6, 50%. Absolute is 3 out of 6 as well, but there's an asterisk to it. For both Coherent and Micron, they hit what I would call my #1 sell rule. I have a video coming out about my different sell rules, when to sell a stock, but the main one I use, if I only had one stock, would be, kind of a 8% stop loss, from the max. So you just set that kind of trailing 8% stop loss. If the stock just falls down by 8 to 10%, you automatically sell. You automatically get out. I don't believe in holding the stock while it's going down and, just doubling down, averaging down. I don't believe in any of that. If the stock's falling, that's telling me the market, something's wrong with the stock. Something's wrong, something happened, we're getting out. I might get back in later, but for now, we're getting out. The market doesn't agree with my view. And I'd rather wait on the sidelines until it agrees with me again. So, with Micron and with Coherent, I actually ended up making a little bit of money, especially with Coherent. Coherent popped up maybe 13-14% first 2 weeks of January, and then it fell. Micron, pretty much the same thing. Popped up 9-10%, and then it fell. So actually, this isn't a 3, this is more like a 5. 5 out of 6, which is a lot better, which is what I expect. I'm not 100% happy, but I'm pleased, I'm satisfied. The other pick that didn't make it through was Huntsman Group, which is fine because I didn't expect them to. It's more of a defensive pick. It's more if the stock market just falls off. I expect Huntsman to do better than other stocks when the stock market is tanking. It's a little volatile now, a little bit of a sell-off. This is when I expect Huntsman Group to hold up. So from that perspective, we're good. And the video's just been the video. What more can I really say? It's in mind of its own. I do still get the stock overvalued, by the way. But there's so much long-term growth prospects, and there's so much thematic things to it that I just couldn't help myself either, man. I had to hop on the train. So far, it's paid off. Alright, so for these 10 stocks, relative hit rate, stocks that beat the S&P 500, we're 6 for 10. We're meeting goal #1. If it wasn't for that sale rule I mentioned, we'll be 6 for 10 on goal #2 as well, which is not good. It's not meeting my expectations. I didn't tell you all about the sale rule, so I can't count it. I personally sold, but I can't count that. So right now, we're 6 of 10 on the absolute level. So not necessarily meeting the second goal right now, which is fine. We'll meet over time. This is also very short time frames. So especially January, it's just been a month. So things could completely change. But overall, key lessons learned. #1 is have some themes in your portfolio. Have some real structural change where there's clearly a shift in long-term supply and demand. All the stocks that popped for me, right, it'd be ABO Med with helping with the heart pumps, heart devices, fitting the theme of kind of long-term changes in healthcare, older age. Amazon with e-commerce, Arista Networks with cloud computing, NVIDIA with just about any of the hot industries. Having a theme really makes life easier. And if you pick the best stocks that's already within a theme or within a structural change, this makes your life a lot better. So having more of those in the portfolio will help a lot. And it also gives you more comfort for holding the stocks long term. Second is, you have more stocks that reduce risk in the portfolio. I've already heard this kind of feedback coming back from people who watch my videos that a lot of stocks I choose are a little bit high risk, and I agree. I completely agree. I have to have a little bit more of a balance. We'll have a portfolio about how to really look at risk in the portfolio. So it's not all the valuation, but it is part of it. It is part of it. There's other ways to look at risk as well, and I will have more picks to reduce risk. Definitely look to reduce risk a lot more. Lastly, relative institutional support. So one reason I feel like my December picks have worked out and my January ones haven't so much so is that for the December picks, I focus on stocks where the institutional support, more buyers and sellers, was more recent. Like it's just starting to happen. It's just starting to pick up. Whereas the 2018 picks, we were just looking at stocks that, hey, it was already very high, which means the stock was probably overcrowded, probably way too many people in the name, and as soon as a little bit of shakiness happened, people sold off. So that's more of a thought that I'm keeping in mind. Look at stocks where institutional support is building at this moment. It's not absolutely high, but it's building up. And when it's building up, there's more of a certainty that at least in the short term, things will work out. Maybe not so much with the long term, but in the short term, we're gonna be all good. And we'll increase those hit rates that I'm focused on. And that's all I have for you all today. Remember, if you're gonna follow this kind of trend following momentum investing, keep in mind that the key is actually to limit downside, limit the losers, let the winners ride. It's gonna be all good. You'll be surprised at the great results you can get with this strategy. Michael EJ here, helping you reach your financial goals and dreams by becoming the best investor you can be. And I'll see you in the next video.